then Season 3 most likely will be starting either perhaps maybe December or January or so, around that time. And it's going to be pretty interesting out there. So yeah, it looks like they have gone into Champion Select at the moment, so we will be looking at to see what's going on in there.
So moving on into the game right now, we're going to see actually the bans are going on actually quite quick for both of these teams. They'll actually ban out all the global champions for Singapore Sentinels. They banned out all the global champions for Vietnam, for SAJ. They took out Carter's, Shen, and lastly Vladimir. Not sure why for the last ban there.
I'm not sure, but look how fast they're going through the picks. Alista was the first one to be picked up, and then straight away after that, it was Nunu and Ezreal, a really strong combination. Not only is there the increase of attack speed from Blood Boil, as well as the Essence Flux from or Rising Spell Force as well, the passive from Ezreal, but they also have the combination of going extra slow with the snowball effect, and then onto Ezreal's Essence Flux onto the enemy. So it's pretty interesting. A very strong lane going up against Graves and Leona. Another kill lane as well.
So one is more of a poke slow composition, and the other one will be going for high burst composition, the bottom lane right there for the Leona and Graves. If Leona just gets a jump in onto Ezreal or Nunu, they might be able to get the first blood instantly from there. It's going to be very easy with the bug shot and also the extra stuns, the extra damage from Sunlight, from the passive of Leona. It's going to be very interesting to see how Nunu and Ezreal, which is Violet, now Violet will be the jungle, which will be Archie and Junie, how they position themselves for the bottom lane fights later on. And we can see the picks for the jungle, most probably going to be Maokai, as well as Next Water once again going to play Lux, I believe. He played Lux during the Season 2 qualifiers, and he did a very good job in poking away the opponents, just slowly reducing their health even before the fights happen, forcing the team fights to be in the favor of Saigon Jokers even before it started, just trying out all the spells.
Let's put it here at max cooldown, which is 40% for Lux. That's a 24-second ultimate. That's an extremely fast ultimate right out there.
You'll be able to use it twice in a single team fight. Definitely.
I mean, even more, it depends on how long actually the team fight goes out there. So it's going to be really interesting here to see what happens.
So we will see that the next two picks for Singapore side is actually Tofu will be using Irelia and Chawi taking up Gragas right there. I'm not sure. I think it's most probably Gragas is going to go to Darkness instead of Chawi. Lately we have seen that Chawi has switched his role into more of a AD carry instead of the AP carry for Singapore Sentinels. So it's going to be very interesting to see. When we see QTV taking out Rengar, the last pick.
Wow.
When just to say, from what I know, yesterday KL Hunters was actually playing a practice match with Saigon Jokers, and they did play.
In fact, it was this exact composition from Saigon Jokers.
Yes.
That KL Hunters played against yesterday in the scrim that Teddy and I were both watching, and it was pretty devastating. It was devastating indeed. Basically, what happened was that Next Water basically had a 360-degree view of everything and started poking away lasers, and it was ridiculous. Ezreal could position himself so well because what happened was that nobody knew who to focus. Did they bring down Lux first or did they bring down Ezreal? Because Lux and Ezreal are both pretty far-range heroes, and with Maokai sticking to Lux, with Lux with her binding, Maokai's snare, the slow from Nunu and Ezreal, it was as if it was a two-prong attack always, and with Rengar hiding in any sort of bush or turning invisible with his ultimate and bursting down heroes, it was ridiculous. It was like a slaughter fest.
Yes, and Rengar is like the new Twisted Fate with about level 16, I think about 70 to 80 seconds cooldown, I think, for the max cooldown reduction, but with 4% cooldown reduction, it's about 46 seconds. I need to do some calculations for that to find out.
Yeah, but I think you are right with that. That's actually pretty accurate with that. So yeah.
And also to add, QTV actually plays an not really AP Rengar, but actually he plays more of a spell penetration, more magic based, but he doesn't go for any AP build at all. So actually we're actually going to go back to the champion selection. It was actually a misclick. I was going to look at the runes and masteries for QTV right there. It's going to be very, very interesting to see. I did see it yesterday, as you can see, it's going for movement speed and spell penetration, flat armor and flat magic resist. And there from his masteries as well, it's going for 921-0, but going to go for the extra spell penetration cooldown reduction and the tankiness overall, which makes Rengar really hard to kill with a combination of his skills. As well, for those of you who use Rengar, if 5 stacks, when you use his second ability W, it's going to heal 15% of his maximum health, which can keep him alive in lane even when he's out of pots. No problems at all.
I mean, definitely that raw that he does is really strong, especially when you have multiple enemies all surrounding you, trying to jump on you. You raw and they all melt. They just melt away. Actually pretty interesting to see what Tofu does. I mean, Tofu actually has pretty standard builds. I would say he doesn't do anything crazy unlike Chawi or Nyx Water where he does things out there. And yeah, it is perfectly the same, but going for flat magic resist instead of scaling magic resist should be pretty interesting, especially since at the very starting of the game, QTV already has so much of Magic Pen to counter that.
Okay, see right now for the Mastery is a bit different than the usual for Irelia. I'm playing a 9-14-7. Going to take mana regeneration, there's armor penetration, attack damage, and attack speed, and also for the health.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely very interesting to see that it is 9-14-7. This had been something that was done, I would say, almost close to a year ago. When it first came out, when people were just trying out, tanky tops and things of that sort, they were kind of going with this. So I'm not sure if this is actually going to make a sort of comeback, but I'm pretty sure they have something, lined up here for them. It's pretty interesting to see that for Saigon Jokers, they are going for a sort of poke composition, bringing people down. And then for the side of Singapore Sentinels, they have this sort of team-centric fight where if Gragas does not land his cast down well, it's kind of a waste.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, so...
But is it going to be a fight of cooldown reductions for Gragas ulti? Because, it's like 40 seconds? Or is it 34 seconds for the max cooldown reduction right there?
Max cooldown reduction for Gragas, it's I think 48 seconds long at 40% at level 16.
No, I mean, Gragas is also the other champion, but in the two team fights, you use it to poke first, and later when you finally want to engage, you just go in one more time and push everyone out to do maximum damage. But for Lux, it's more of a far safer range, and it's actually more painful in my opinion when you see it happen sometimes.
It's ridiculous. Like... You see the line, and then you see death.
Yes. Oh, it's like...
That's what it is. So
yeah, it's just what it is. So right now, the game actually begun, so we're going to move into the game right now. We're going to see them all quickly buying items moving out, and we can see that, Chawi actually being Chawi, I would say, he buying his original build for Gragas, I would say. He's actually going for the Doran's ring right there. Because he knows that he's able to heal his health by spamming his abilities, so the magic realization is much more important. You can see right now they're actually both teams moving into the mid lane right now. It's going to be very interesting to see. Kailing is Kailing is actually playing today, I just realized. He was actually playing
Yes, Kailing is playing today, in case you did not realize.
Okay.
And it's pretty interesting. Yeah, I mean, I like the Gragas skin. It's Vandal Gragas. I like the fact that he throws a keg of beer at people and it explodes. It's just amazing. It looks like the teams are posturing for the side of Singapore Sentinels. It looks like they are going for the invade. And the side of Saigon Jokers, they are all scattered. Actually, Nyx Water being the only one on the other side. Oh, we do see that luminescent orb being thrown there, so he does know what's going on in that bush. And all that things are going off there. Trying to find out if Nyx Water will be doing anything, but Nyx Water will be going back into lane, trying to be a little bit safe, and looks like Singapore Sentinels will not be getting anything, only perhaps the blue, but looks like they will be backing off as well.
They're actually going to back off and move back to the lanes, but actually going to stay for the blue, and we actually from where the position of how everyone is standing, Saigon Jokers yes, they're going to stick to their lane swap strategy right there. You can see Lux actually still at the bot lane, and wow, Vanguard actually for opponents for Saigon Jokers actually going to take the blue as well for Maokai. No problems at all standing together and waiting for it to spawn, but not going to engage on the wolves because I think Violet does not want to take too much health reduction right there. So actually, it's just going to be a counter jungle for both sides, but it's going to be interesting to see whether they clear off the whole 2 million creeps overall.
I think it would be, but then again, look at that Tofu getting so low so very quickly. QTV not even taking a single hit, and it's funny, Nyx Water just trying to poke away at Kailing there. Kailing did go down pretty low, and that the small lizards will be cleaned up by Nyx Water, no problem, so there's not much of a delay or anything there.
And Chawi, I would like to mention that actually Chawi, to counter Nick's water, actually took teleport instead of his regular ignite, and as soon as he saw that there was a lane stop, he just teleport down to bottom. So right now everything has been swapped, but teleport has been used by Chawi, so it's going to be an advantage of Saigon Jokers. Nick's water still does have his...
Look at that. Look at that damage by QTV, just pushing Tofu out of lane. Tofu forced to use pots. And you know, he already has used one pot as it is, and he's still at half health. QTV being able to farm, denying all the extra experience to Irelia, to Tofu there. I don't know how well it's going to go for Tofu now. We did see, oh look at the Bola shot, slowing him down even more further.
Sorry.
And more damage is going onto Tofu, forced to use another pot and still at half health. This is not looking good for Tofu whatsoever.
Yes, sorry, this just now was more interesting to see. I thought like Nuno was actually going to try to steal the red buff right there, but she's just moving to steal some of the gold from the mutant minion right there, and it's going to be very interesting. Like, this is the strategy that actually we saw in the Season 2 qualifier, the last match that Singapore Sentinels tried to perform, so to speak. The Nunu stealing all the jungle and reducing the EXP gain for the opponents, and it seems that, well, right now Singapore Sentinels will be doing the same thing.
That is so devastating. What we can see up there is that from the side of Singapore Sentinels, Irelia with 11, Rengar with 13. There's not much of a difference there, but look at the amount of damage Tofu is taking. Tofu will have to be forced to go back soon. And that's where Rengar can go up there, get that extra CS and farm up. Tofu is already teleporting out there, nothing much can be done for him. And this is when QTV on Rengar is going to farm up. Mid lane looks like something may be going on there. Archie just trying to shove the lane a little bit. Archie did an excellent job against Shawi when he used it in the Season 2 qualifiers, and at the moment we see Nick Water and Gragas at the bottom just farming it out with the two of them both with really strong AoE spells, and then they scale really well as well. So I don't know what's going to happen in the bot lane. I think it's going to become a passive lane of farming. Gragas could body slam in Lux to just bind him out and move back really safely, so I don't know what's going to happen there.
But in terms of team composition and how everything's positioned, I don't think that meant that the junglers are actually not going to gank until quite later, maybe in one more minute into the game after they finish clearing every single thing in their own jungle, because it's actually moving to a more passive phase where the lanes are supposed to fight it out and dish it out, because the wards are all placed around the map already, and top lane wise as well, Irelia has gotten a ward down on his rush, but for Rengar, he has two wards, one at the opponent blue as well as at the lower area here. They're going to see Alistar moving. If Individual comes off from the back, we can see right now Junie being very sneaky, going to try to steal wolves right there after when his wall is up, straight away moving in position.
Another interesting thing is that Kailing already has oracles. Oracles at 4 minutes. He's already started to reward. He already had removed one ward for sure, and I don't know whether it's worth it getting an oracles this early into the game. If he does lose it, it's going to be pretty devastating. I don't know if he can actually, bounce back from losing that 400 extra gold, which could have been built into his GP5, but it should be pretty interesting. It looks like a gank will be coming in for Nick's Water. Going to be pretty interesting to see if Alistar will be able to land a pulverized. Leona as well coming to support, with Nunu being really smart coming in. It looks like Nunu will get caught out there. Wow, the double stun.
This might be the first blood.
Oh, this might be there, but oh no, look at that tankiness of that Nunu, popping the health pot, keeping everybody alive. Even excellent reaction timing for Nick Morton, throwing out his shield. Violet may get really low. Equivocal is very low.
Oh, am I not the fighting?
Oh my god, that's the nice. There is first blood. Junie is very low. Nick Morton will go down as well. Cool Shawi. No problem there. Archie trying to clean up, and looks like Archie will be cleaning up as well. Grace very low. Kyling will be coming, hoping to support, but it looks like nothing else will happen. A 2-for-1 exchange, but it's still going on. Violet and Shawi going above there. That nice heal, it's nice patient mark shot goes down, and that single shot combi auto attack brings him down, no problem. So it's a 3-1 trade for the side of Singapore Sentinels. Great out there. Definitely great.
Yes. Overall positioning for both teams were actually very good. Initiations, engagements, they chose to fight on, but in the end, they ended up in the Singapore Sentinels' favor, because I suppose at the point of time, because the damage was done on Saigon Jokers first, they were a bit more tanky. They could last much more longer for Singapore Sentinels side, and actually come a bit much later than Graves. So
I think it's more of a reaction instead of timing. They thought they could actually do it, but then they realized that Graves was actually missing, and most likely Graves would be there. So Ezreal decided to now I need to be there definitely, and started to move there.
But we can see right now for top lane side, Vanguard is just so comfortable. Doesn't even need to recall back to base, as I mentioned earlier, just using his W and just gonna heal himself back to proper health, no problems at all. No matter how much damage he takes on Iria, it's gonna brush it off, no problem.
Yep, and that teleport goes off by Xiaomi, no problem. Going straight back to the bottom lane. I think that was their whole plan. You know what? We'll get you blue and you just teleport all the way back to the bottom lane, no problem whatsoever. Lane presence continuously being met. I mean, if they can keep up that sort of findings, it's going to be really great for the side of Singapore Sentinels. But with 2 kills ahead and not even 1k ahead yet, it's still a very, very close match.
Definitely.
It's nothing like that. The million difference isn't all that high. Only 10 difference between the AD carries. For the junglers, another 10 difference there, simply because they started to go for the oracles first, and Kylie was walking around more than, actually jungling. So,
yes.
Now we're getting poked a little bit there.
So we're gonna see right here, so far actually gonna try to jump onto QTV, try to get the kill, gonna spam all his abilities, but it's not gonna be enough. But I believe he's just prepping for the kill later on if Alisa just come out. But there's one thing, the most annoying thing about Rengar is that if he hides in the brush, you have no problem farming. Because if you just leap out, take the creep, throw the bola, and then hide back into the brush.
No problem whatsoever. It's easy to see a pink ward in the middle of the map. Right in the middle lane, there's a pink ward there. Not sure what exactly that was for, but the trade goes off and the bottom lane, farming by each other. We still see that pink ward. I'm not sure what exactly the pink ward was for. Perhaps maybe to de-ward one of Saigon Jokers' wards, but
I think it's to spot Rengar, but Rengar hasn't left the lane at all. But so I have no idea. Because the only thing it would be
put the pink ward then in the top brush. I mean, the brush just as he enters to the middle lane.
Not really, because for Rengar, I would actually jump in slowly. Oh, give us a moment, actually. A slight problem. Gonna adjust the sound. Oh wow, suddenly it becomes so high. That's why I have no idea why the settings were resetted. So sorry for this technical difficulties. So right now, for those of you listening, the sound should be much more better. The in-game sound will not be that loud, and your ears are safe. So are ours, same time. So as we're mentioning, because for Rengar, especially if I have AP like magic penetration, I'll be maxing my W first, my raw. I would really want to actually, instead of leaping in, I will actually just straight away walk next to the champion and just heal myself and W. Here's the combo right there. There goes the damage trading off. But QTV did not wait for Ignite to finish first. I wonder why. Here Maokai, as usual, gonna pick up the kill from Violet. We've seen this happen during the season 2 as well. Maokai walking a bit too slow.
No. I don't know why he did not decide to go in for the root. He definitely could have done it, but I guess he didn't want to.
Coming for Ezreal. Oh, missing you slightly. If he was supposed he was guessing Tofu who would teleport a bit out, but on this area, but no, he was stepping in the brush. So going to miss that or die a bit.
That was a really close one, really close. But Nick's water is very low. Chawi looks like he will be going in for the kill. What will happen? The extra shield does go off, missing that binding. Oh my, look at that! How low that life is. Juni will be coming in with that nice ice ball. He will be going right into the base. What will happen? Oh, the laser just misses by a smidgen. Violet coming in as well with that sapling. Who will get it? And Violet will get it with the sapling. Nice job by Juni there, not taking the kill, allowing the jungler to get a kill, which means that oracles can come out really well. Amazing play by Nick's Water, being able to dodge all the barrels being thrown, even missing the body slam. Truly amazing out there.
Yes. One thing bad about Gragas, so to speak, I suppose, would be that his casket or his jar or whatever you like to call it is actually quite.
Not casket. Casket means like funeral coffin.
Yeah. It's actually quite easy to dodge if you're used to it, because you pretend to run a straight line. When you see throw, you just need to run sideways to the left
or the right.
Right, either way, you'll be able to dodge it actually, because Gragas, his cast does travel a bit slowly. He has to throw it at further range instead of where you're actually standing, for it to really hit. And this is one of the ways you actually juke Gragas, and Nick's Water just show it to all of you. Wonderful.
How to definitely play at high level. And we see Kailing with that with that Oracle's de-warding as he goes around, trying to deny some extra vision for the side of Saigon Jokers, but I don't think they need all that much vision. They're not really being hurt by this. Pretty much, if you look at the lanes, the AD carries are pretty much even in terms of CS, but Grace does have the 2 extra kills from the very beginning. Rengar is still perfectly nothing, same with Irelia, nothing on there. For the bottom, we do see Lux with 111, Gragas with 112, so he does have that little bit of gold extra coming in from the
Cage lucky pick. Is that what
from
you
the from the cage lucky pick. I keep saying Kage is like
Kage is because we're watching too much animation,
Yeah, I'm watching too much Naruto. This is what happens. But in terms of itemization, we do see that Ezreal has a Phage and a Sheen, and that Graves will be getting his Bloodthirsters really soon. Anyhow, so there's not much of a discrepancy thus far. We see 3 Hearts of Gold on the side of Singapore Sentinels. We see 2 Hearts of Golds, 1 Philosopher's Stone. We just have 1 extra. No, we actually have two GP5 extras for the side of Singapore Sentinels at this point. So if it does drag on to the later games and all the gold is accumulated, we will see them coming up with like slightly better items, slightly stronger items from there. But at this point, not much of a difference.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of the GP5's mentions, like sometimes it really depends on how well you transition the late game. If you really can't farm up at all and you're losing the lane a bit too much, the GP5 sometimes really does not help out. It would be better to get some items that will help you win against the opponent in the lane more so ever. Like you can see Rengar right now with the Sunfire Cape, it's just gonna push this, you just push Sulfur around, no problem at all. The extra armor, the extra health.
Taking that tanks from the turret, nothing whatsoever. You know, just a couple of mosquito bites, smacking them. You know what? Nothing. Look at that healing back up once again. It's just amazing to see this sort of play. And what can Tofu do? Farm at tower range, but his tower is really low. It's at 1/3 health at this point, and nothing much is going on. The bottom lane, hoping to get in on Nyx Water, but Nyx Water being really safe with Lux. I know a lot of people have been saying that Lux is not a competitive AP champion. But guess what? It kind of goes with the sort of team compositions. And we see that Lux is working out here. But will she work out in the late game? We'll find out sooner or later.
Yes. You can see another thing good about Rengar is that you've noticed the skills taken from QTV. He's actually maxed his Battle Roar and then maxing the Bola Strike after that is because he wants to maximize his ability to deal damage from afar. He doesn't want to get into a melee range against Irelia, just slowly poking off the magic as well as his Starfire Cape. Once the Bola Strike goes off, maybe 2 more seconds of burns and then the Roars, just slowly stacking up the damage overall. It's very good. Like Rengar is also another of those champions, like you would say he's like a bit like Jace in the laning phase when you're farming because he has the brush.
Yes.
It's going to leap to you. Yes, just deep into you, no problem on the farming stages. Usually with his Battle Roar, boosting up his armor and magic resist, putting up in a much better situation to trade hits overall. Oh, got a bit tongue-tied there. You can see right now, Saigon Jokers actually taking out top tower right there. It's going to be in their favor in terms of the gold. And Rengar is going to move back right now. Maybe they will start the dragon, take the objective from there. I'm not so sure because Irelia is actually moving back into the lane already. You might see a gang coming onto the mid. There goes the ulti missing right there. The exhaust, that snowball going on, but Archie is going to be safe. Yona will not reach them.
Oh no, the Zenith Blade does land. Gragas will be there, missing the explosive cast, but oops, a little bit late by Nyx Water there. A good attempt, but I'm not sure why Archie decided to walk in that direction. And it looks like it will be a semi-free dragon. I'm not sure if Saigon Jokers will actually move in on this. Luxus, that's the first time I would actually say that.
Lux
Ultimate Final Spark is actually up at the moment. Tofu's going really low, forced to flash out. Dragon will be taken by blue, no problem. But Equivocal will be going on to Nyx Water. The cast will go there. Flashes out of the way. Kyling is on Ignite, but looks like nothing much will happen. Equivocal looks like will go down, no problem there. QTV bouncing around there. Nyx Water will go down to Equivocal. Amazing buckshot there by Graves, taking him down. And Junie will pick up Equivocal, no problem whatsoever.
In
I
terms
don't
of
know how worth it that was. I don't know.
I would say it was not worth it, but it was necessary, I suppose.
I mean, they could have gone in for a little bit, sort of targeting specific people because they kind of danced around. They weren't really actually sure of what they wanted to do. So, yeah. I guess it kind of worked out in the end. They did get a couple of kills, but other than that, there's nothing much that could happen. It is still 5-3, no problem. Just a 2k difference. That 1k difference came from getting the dragon. and for the couple of kills and, bits and pieces of the assists there. But other than that, pretty much safe, so yeah.
Okay, see, sorry, Archie is actually going to complete his Trinity Force very soon, and the Bloodthirster is going on to Graves, and Graves actually thinking of pickaxe after that.
Immediately going for Last Whisper.
Yes, but
immediately for Last Whisper. This is what many people have been doing now. They, instead of going for the Infinity Edge or things of that sort, they either go in, or the Phantom Dancer as well. They rather go in for the armor pan because it hurts so much in the mid game when people don't really have that much armor. You're able to burst down Lux even more, especially with the bug shots and things of that sort. Just a couple of hits and she instant dies. As compared to getting a Phantom Dancer where you don't hurt as much, but you need to be continuously hitting.
Yes.
So they'd rather go for strong hits than sustained hits. And this is what we actually see going on in North America as well, so yeah.
So it's be interesting to see how it works out, because Maokai is base stats with Nunu as well are more tanky, plus Rengar with his Sunfire Cape. It might be a good choice to get the Last Whispers first instead of Phantom Dancer, because Graves does have his quick draw, which does boost his attack speed by quite a bit, which is actually enough for most of the time in the early stages of the game. And we can see right now the blue buffs, after the second blue buff actually went to Chawi, the third one went on to Graves in the mid lane because it was being pushed back by Ezreal. There is once again gave back the buff to Gragas. And the bot lane is also being pushed down by Singapore Sentinels, so Lux is going to be much more careful in the positioning, not being caught out. But one thing good about Nick's Water, I suppose, would be in the style that he plays, he does not need the blue buff at all. He can give it to anyone else that needs it.
Actually, that is really right. He does not actually need the blue buff.
Yeah.
He can just pass it on to anybody out there and be like, no problem.
So right now we're going to see Rengar going to be much more aggressive. I believe he's going to try to push the top to force the team fights in their favor to pull everyone away. We can see a gang going on. This, as you mentioned, the brush right there, the friendly place for Rengar.
Rengar's favorite place, the brush. But look at the CS difference between Rengar and Irelia. It is quite significant at this point in the stage. So,
but now Tofu does not have his true damage anymore. It's actually going to be the failure of QTV. QTV
hunt.
Actually not going to jump in. Actually going to fall back.
Well, they still are trading up there, trying to be a little bit safe from each other. QTV still at half, and Tofu at half as well. But Tofu has been using his pots up there, so ooh, I don't know about that.
I believe QTV decided not to jump in because he might be baited by Alistar. Okay, we see the lane's being pushed by Leona. Oh, what happened to Graves? Graves is actually going to farm the red buff right now.
I mean, pretty much nobody's being in the middle lane, so he can go in to get the red buff. No problems there. I mean, this is the punishment of what happens when you go for early oracles. Alistair is on 61, Maokai is already on 70 plus. Now, Alistair has 2 GP5s, Maokai has 2 GP5s and is already about to finish his Eagles of the Legion.
Yes, and we saw right there, Gragas and Alistair actually trying to catch Maokai with the oracles right there, but they failed. And here, Leona's ulti once again not really landing in the correct position, and very well flashed by Archie right there, saving him from the explosive cascade, pushing him away instead of to... Okay, sorry, the cask, wow. I have no idea why.
Make a Gragas skin that somehow deals with coffins and it'd be like amazing for you. How to know that could be the Halloween skin, but there it goes on the ulti by Lux, trying to poke them down, stay away from the tower. Shawi getting caught at tower range, being poked down a little bit more. Bola shot does go down, and look at that trade between QTV and Tofu. No problem whatsoever. Tofu forced to use his ulti, try to get something out there. And with all the minions down, Irelia's going to start taking minion damage. But we do see Singapore Sentinels is coming in. Nice ultimate by QTV there. Preventing him from getting hit by anything. Ooh, just barely missing the Ezreal ult, but oh well.
Yes.
I think it's not tanky at all.
I mean, he did spend all his money onto buying the early orcas, and he was a bit slower in the jungle, as Nunu did try to devour as much creeps as he could. So it's going to be very hard for him to build up on items, a bit tanky, but you can see instead of Maokai with 75 CS, even though with just 2 assists, he has 2 assists and 1 kill, he has the 2 GP5s add-on with Aegis of Legions already. It's just, I mean, he's just a bit that much richer, but
he's that 400 gold richer, and that 400 gold actually makes a lot of difference in terms of snowballing the effects. Also because Maokai got their GP5s a little bit faster, so he started collecting gold a little bit earlier. And I don't know, I mean, if Singapore Sentinels is really centric on having these late game, super huge team fights where everybody's present and multiple AoEs are going off. I don't know if they can transition that late, because what's happening now is that Saigon Jokers is kind of starting to win out the whatever lanes they are in. In the top lane, we see that ganks are needed to stop QTV, and looks like the teleport will be coming in from Lux by next water. Will Equivocal get anything out? The Zenith Blade does go off.
The solar effect, but a good flash by next water, and the laser. And right now, Rengar hiding a bit, waiting for his chance to jump back into the fight and heal and wow. Actually, right now, mid lane is going to be a fight between Violet and Chawi. And here we saw the Ezreal ulti there, no ulti going on, doing so much damage, taking it down one by one. And here Grace goes down as well. Mid lane, is a bit sad for Saigon Jokers. They did lose their oracles right there, and right now going to move into this fight where Tofu will be going down as well. The hit by Powerbites combo does go down, but Kailing being at least now with no way to run, move out, it's going to trade off oracles. It's going to be a trade in favor of Saigon Jokers right now, 4 kills to 2, and they might push down this mid lane depending on how they want it, how much they want it. Sorry.
They definitely can bring it down. I mean, it was really great. Look at that Junie taking some huge damage, but landing the ice ball onto Chawi. Chawi being forced to become extra slow, but Gragas has an inbuilt healing system. He just needs to drink his beer and he heals up from there. Sadly, that doesn't happen in real life, but you know what? Oh well, that's life, I guess.
Healing of vitality. And also not to forget Dragon and Zap, so I believe they will be trying to force the objective, or if Rengar is actually just going to try to move back to the top, going to pressure Tofu even that much more. Even though you can see he does have that 1 death, he has 3 assists, but in terms of itemization, he doesn't even need to upgrade the boots, and he's almost at Trinity Force with his Sunfire Cape as well. But Tofu with his 2 GP5s and his Trinity Force, catching a bit up on the farm, and with the GP5s helping it out in gaining the money, it's going to be quite fair for the top fights right now.
I mean, if you look at overall on what's happening, Rengar is trying to be a super late game carry, because that's pretty much what he's like, staying in lane and farming up. Looks like this dragon will go uncontested, no problem whatsoever. The Ezreal ulti a little bit late. So far, all the Ezreal ult have either been off by a couple of centimeters on the map, or they have been a little bit timed, a little bit too slow. So there's either way, 2 ways of looking at it.
Yes.
So what's happening here is that it's 7-7. The 3k goal lead to the favor of Singapore Sentinels. Now 2k of that goal lead actually goes to the dragons that they got. And it's only this 1 extra K which actually comes in from majority of the assists.
Oh yes, majority of assists. I was about to say 1 more tower, but it's actually at 1 and 1. I missed that.
1 and 1. Ooh, Kailing forced to use his ulti there to dodge that blinding laser from Lux. So yeah, I don't know.
So right now, if Saigon Jokers do plan to push in, it's going to be in their favor, because Kailing does not have his ultimate anymore. If he does hit by Power Vice, does do his CC combination, but he's going to be taken down very quickly after that, as he is not tanky at all with the overall item builds he has. And right now we can see, I think SAJ is going to try to push in the mid lane right now. Rengar actually waiting at the side, for those of you who did not notice, actually waiting for his right timing to jump in. He has his 5 stacks ready. It's going to be very interesting to see how this team fight is going to happen. Is it going to be a 2-punch attack for both sides, as Alistar has returned to base, but they do not have a ward that spots it. Chavi actually teleporting, going to move back as well. Not sure why.
I actually like the fact that Rengar went to check out blue to see if blue was there, just so that they could possibly steal a buff while everybody was focused on mid. And if you look at Saigon Jokers, they are not spending all their time, all 5 of them, in mid as what Singapore is doing. In fact, once they realized that, you know what, this is a little bit too long for us, they all decided to go back to their lanes, get a little bit more farm. And this is like this small little things that team communication actually works out. They realize that, you know what, nothing's going to happen here for the next 30 seconds. You could kind of walk, get some few extra CS, get some extra gold, and we can convene back here, which is pretty much what they're doing now. The few of them that did go back, they start to rotate mid, whereas Maokai goes back, Nixwater comes back to the mid lane and starts pressuring as Singapore Sentinels starts to move back. Looks like tower goes down, no problem. Catching 2 people out there, Kailing, solo Kailing goes down. That just goes to show that amazing power of luck.
Yes.
But what happens now is that when she doesn't have her ulti up, she's vulnerable.
Yes.
Very, very vulnerable.
And also to mention, so Singapore is actually going to try to force the team fights overall. Sorry, actually moving right now, we can see that she's going to jump out the kill onto Tofu right there. The missing, ulti also missing, and here comes the Gragas. You'll be able to save Tofu, I believe. And
look at the damage.
Oh wow. Oh, that was badly placed. Wow.
As well. That Darkness getting that double kill onto people. It was the explosive calf basically that threw the whole team into disorientation. Renga couldn't really escape because Grace was just right behind her, coming in with the extra damage to deal. So it didn't go in favor of Saigon Jokers. Great job on Singapore Sentinels, following up on a team fight. Will anything happen with Archie? I don't think so. Equivocal is kind of out of position with nobody else really close by to set it up. So yeah, ooh, I don't know about that.
I think they should be able to get a Baron, no problem at all. Because
Yeah, and they are starting on Baron already, bringing it down now. Ezra's ulti is down.
Nox's ulti is up, but she's too far away to be able to do anything.
She's still dead. She's now only coming up. So yeah, looks like this will be a free Baron for the side of Singapore Sentinels. No problem there. Even Tofu is up, so that means it's a 5-man Baron buff given. So yeah.
And this is a mistake, so to speak, for Saigon Jokers. I think they did see Gragas teleporting in, or I'm not sure whether they noticed it or not, but they still decided to jump in. Oh, never mind. As we were talking, we can see there goes Chawi bursting down Junie instantly, no problem at all. We can see now actually QTV moving in position, but wow. They just dodged the Lux ulti and Ezreal ulti by just using the body slam as well as quick draw away. But now Maokai is actually going to root and force the fight here, and yes, they take down Chawi. There goes a shutdown onto Chawi. There goes, we remove one Baron buff, it's going to be much more better for them overall. You want to actually take down the Baron buff for mostly the AP carry and AD carry, as they will be able to dish out the most damage from further range.
Definitely out there, and Tofu looks like he was poking at the middle tower, not being able to bring him down. At this point in time, we see that Graves has a lot of extra CS. It's 266, with Chawi as well, 260 over. Yeah, we do see like the itemization. We have Bloodthirster, and he did not go for the Last Whisper.
I believe he saw that their team was in an advantageous position. Like, they got the dragons, they were winning most of the team fights in the stage, and he got a lot of the kills. And
yeah,
he just
we can even just check a look at his goal, and I'm pretty sure, I mean, he has 6 kills, so that's a lot of extra goal. That's 11,000 already for him. Chawi with 11,000 as well, that 5 kills and that 4 assists being out there. On the side of Nyx Water, the second Jokers there, it's only about 7,000 because there's a lot of assists, very few kills. And that's what's making the difference here. There's the amount of kills. The kills are spread out for Saigon Jokers, whereas the kills are very focused on Singapore Sentinels. So like you mentioned, if they're able to bring down Chawi and bring down Darkness several more times, Singapore Sentinels is going to be in big trouble.
Yes.
Because they don't have their carries that up there.
And we're actually going to try to dive onto QTV right there, and he gets pushed out of the tower range, and wow, QTV playing very, very safe, moving into the crack position, actually going to juke the whole team right there. And
sneaky Rengar.
And no, Tofu is actually not going to chase him down. They're actually going to force push the top lane, but we can see the mid lane going down. Rengar is actually going to meet up with his teammates. They're actually going to force this mid lane going to go down. Actually going to move into the third turret in the mid lane as Ezreal is moving into position. Kylie is coming from behind because he does have the boots of mobilities in the situation where he wants, and the ward does spot him, so they're going to push him away. Maybe? Or nope, they're actually going to fall back, going to move, choose to go for a more safer choice. As if they get Clam from the back from Alistar, they're going to push everything into their favor for Singapore Sentinels. So right now, once again, everyone's gathered to meet. The dragon is up. Viola throwing saplings to scout out the area. I think this is going to be another dragon for Singapore Sentinels. And
it pretty much looks like Junie is going back. Nyx Water does have his ultimate up, Archie as well, but the dragon's going to go down, and this is the 3rd dragon in a row. This is starting to look like IPL face-off where Singapore Sentinels dominated every single dragon out there. So this is 3 dragons and 1 Baron to the side of Singapore Sentinels. They are looking really good, but I'm not convinced that they are going to win this for sure.
Yes, definitely. Because overall, as you mentioned, right now for Singapore Sentinels, only the carries are really fat. Yeah, but for the bruiser side as well, the support as well as the jungler.
Oh, Nyx Water.
Oh, actually very poor.
Equivocal going very low, Equivocal does go down, no problem there. Once again, this is the 3rd time that Junie has managed to land a full ulti, nobody wanting to stop him, Kylie not wanting to disrupt him whatsoever. Archie looks like he will be able to double kill, will he get the triple kill, will he move forward? Tofu trying to dash into the Nyx Water, and looks like Tofu will be able to get the kill. Violet now taking some extra damage, but Tofu does go down. No problem. So it looks like in terms of kills now, it is in favor of Saigon Jokers. Great job there by Archie, and this is what's happening now. Archie is getting the kills. Archie has 7 instead of Darkness 6. And this is starting to look really good now for the side of Saigon Jokers. What we talked about earlier was that you get 1 core item and the last whisper, and true enough, that's what Archie did. He did get the last whisper. That's how fast Graves went down. Even Graves with his passive True Grit, it didn't really help because the last whisper tore through it. He just tore through it.
Definitely just not enough at all. And we can see that Archie is slowly going to farm out his Bloodthirster, and maybe the last we should go for more defensive item for Guardian Angel after that. And we can see Grace also going to pick up on his last whispers. And everyone on the Singapore Sentinels side, I believe the itemization for the jungle and for the support is actually more on forcing the team fights to happen, because both of them have boosts on vulnerability as well as Shurella Reverie. So they really want to get into the faces of opponents, throwing down the Power Hit Bot, Power Rise, as well as the Solar Flare, instantly going to disable the whole team, and then Vegas throwing his cask, explosive cask, no longer casket, going to push everyone else into their side, into the fight of their favor. And we can see right now, I think Next Water going to build up on his cooldown reduction. Does have 15% right now, plus the 4% for the Mastery, should be at 19. It just needs another 21% so they can shoot lasers all day without any problems whatsoever at all.
So lasers is good. Lasers is never bad.
The only thing bad is the name changes they have. Okay, right now I believe it's called, let's see, it's called Final Spark from Finalis
Falkland? It was just a little bit too difficult to pronounce, and like all the casters were like cringing whenever somebody used Lux because
and that was the laser as we mentioned.
the laser. The Final Spark. I'm not sure actually why it's called a spark. It's more like a rainbow, so it'd be like, I don't know. Maybe they should have an Irish inspired Lux skin. That should be pretty good up there. So yeah.
So actually, it's just gonna force the fight actually all in mid, and while Rengar is actually at the bot lane, he's actually gonna try push it down and then only return to the base. So we're gonna see how this team fight turns out for Saigon Jokers, because they are 1 man down for the next 10-15 seconds or so, and we're gonna see whether they actually try to rush in, but nope. They're actually gonna play safe and fall back, and they know that Baron is actually gonna come out soon in the next minute or so. So that's why they are just moving for it. And there goes another laser right there.
Those wild random lasers piercing through the forest. So random. But this is what happens, is that they can slowly poke and wither them down. And they are forced to use pots or forced to heal up, you know, by going back later, which means that Alyssa has to use up his mana. He has to use up his cooldown, and that can come to, you know, benefit when it comes to a random team fight.
Yes.
Luxing really far behind there. Kailing forced to use his ultimate to get out of the binding from Lux. But Tofu does have Guardian Angels, but so does QTV.
So, but QTV not only has Guardian Angel with Training Force and Sunfire Cape, while Tofu does have his recurve bow right there. Most probably going to get a beat's end soon. With the attack speed, it's going to be a force to reckon with, especially when he fights against Ezreal. Ezreal might have a problem taking Irida down faster than her, so to speak. Well, it's him, not her.
No worries there, but what we do see is that Tofu was in the bush, so QTV does know that they're kind of around there, not wanting to do anything. Ragha's Barrel is there, but it looks like Saigon Jokers could be going for the Baron. They do have the Oracles on Junie. They could possibly go in for the D-Ward. Archie will be getting a little bit more extra farm out there, but it looks like no, they just left the ward down there, and actually Singapore Sentinels has no wards left for Baron. It is a perfectly dark alley.
Yes, but because I do not know where Singapore Sentinels was at the time, but we saw that QTV spotted Tofu. He was teleporting back in the area and ran through the tri-bush, and that is the most dangerous place to enter, face checking a tri-bush. That's where,
I mean, a lot of people can be hiding, even in the smallest bush. What more, a tri-bush?
Yes.
It's simply because if you get knocked out of the tri-bush, you need to walk back in, and it's not the easiest thing. Oh, look at that. Violet and Kylie kind of trading off there. QTV coming in, Nyx Water with the binding, just missing barely. It looks like it could be a possible team. Now, in this sort of small areas like the jungle, it goes in favors of Singapore Sentinels simply because of their AoE. The Solar Flare, the explosive cast, the Graves Bark Shot can hit so many people at so many different times.
Yes, but I would say we'll go to the same for Saigon Jokers. It might not be in terms of the overall crowd control, but more on the overall damage being dealt out from Lux ulti, Ezreal ulti, and finally if Nunu is or not, he's just absolute zero, and there goes the snow and everything just poops, goes down.
So that is true, but if you look at the itemization of Lux, we have one Rabadons, we have one Athene's Unholy Grail. That's about it. For Chow, we have Death Firegrass, we have Zonya Hourglass, we have Abyssal Scepter, and we have a Death Cap. That's a lot of extra items, that's a lot of extra damage out there. Chowie had to dash through the wall to escape from QTV. Looks like he will be going in for QTV as he's actually out of position away from his entire team. Kylie going around, hopefully be able to catch him out there, but nope. Gets caught in the binding, forced to ultimate out of it. Nunu will start. Nope. Solar Flight does go off. Nothing is actually going on. They're kind of dancing around each other, but Junie will go down. Look at that damage being dealt out. The ultis. The Lux ulti is kind of critical now.
And just now, I believe that Junie was actually trying to enter the brush to use ultimate. And now they're dashing onto Violet right there. He forces the flash over the wall, but he does go down with the collateral damage by Graves. And you can see, as you mentioned, the overall damage coming out right now is in favor of Singapore Sentinels, and right now I believe they're going to push into the mid lane as the jungle and support is down, or they're just going to move on to Baron. But if they do go to Baron, it's going to be hard for them to take it because...
Rengar's coming!
And there goes the burst. Nope, actually stopping right there. He's going to push them back.
He wasn't actually able to actually land onto Equivocal, that was the problem. Equivocal actually flashed out the moment he saw Rengar turn visible and was midway through the jump. So great reaction timing on the side of Irelia there. Oh well.
Equivocal?
Equivocal, I'm so sorry.
I don't know, you just switched the name. I was like, you mentioned the names wrongly, you know.
Yes, I did mention the names wrongly. Sorry about that, guys.
But it's going to be fine. We see Ezreal actually using his ultimate to check on the Baron because they don't have a ward there. And Nixwater using his laser, final spark, clearing the bot lane, going to try to push the lane so that they can move into position onto the Baron. Irelia is just waiting for the creeps, for the minions to reach as well, and then he's going to push the lane back. And if Saigon Jokers not react to that, the minions will just slowly chip down the bottom lane turret. So this is very well played. This is the most important lanes, you know. You can see the Dragon and the Baron. Based on how far the lane is pushed, it's going to be a determining factor on whether you want to start the Baron, whether you want to fall back, whether the tower is going to go down. It's like it just creates so much more pressure on the opponent teams based on how it goes.
I mean, pretty much like what you mentioned is absolutely true. What's interesting to note is that all that extra GP5s from the Singapore Sentinel side is paying off now. This is why they're able to get all these extra items. They're able to buy more wards at the side of Saigon Jokers. They're able to continuously keep up the Oracle count. And this is helping them out there because Saigon Jokers weren't able to shut them down in the mid game. And now as we're transitioning to the late game, this is what's actually going to happen. My prediction is that unless Saigon Jokers, I'm sorry, what am I saying here? Saigon Jokers can actually do a Baron steal and perhaps maybe a ace, they're not going to win this. It's going to be pretty tough. They need to win a major team fight and take some major objectives to come back in this game. The goal lead is almost up to 10k at this point now. 10k isn't all that much. One team fight will easily get you 7k there. Or the assist goal and things of that sort. But it looks like they're getting caught out here. Violet taking tons and tons of damage. Chowie coming in as well, getting poked a little bit, but nope, will go down. Nothing much can be helped, and this is what is great for the side of Singapore Sentinels.
Right now they're definitely going to move on to Baron because they've taken out the jungle, there is no free smite, and then SAJ, the Saigon Jokers is responding to this by just pushing the lanes. We can see Lux at the bot lane and the other three actually pushing in mid.
They go for the inhibitor, it sure looks as if they can.
They're just diving in. Rengar is going to tank all the hits for his team right there. Just gonna chip down this turret, and then Nixwater at the bottom, gonna take down another turret and gonna push the minions in, I believe, and there goes the turret and definitely inhibitor. So even though Singapore Sentinels do get the Baron buff, however, they're gonna lose out a bit on how far it's gonna be pushed, and Rengar gonna force a flash out, gonna be a bit safe. Ezreal moving into flashing out as well, using his ability to move out. But however, in terms of getting the towers, in terms of getting the inhibitor, they did do well in getting all the objectives from there.
I don't know how worth it this is, simply because I have never actually calculated this out. 2 towers and 1 inhibitor for Baron.
I mean, definitely it will not be so well, so to speak, because the Baron buff does play a large role in how well these team fights will be portrayed and how well they will tank more for the regeneration. You can see right now, I really am not going to care about the tower. Just going to tank some hits because they had the Baron buff regeneration right there, and we can see, however, from the lasers, as you can mention,
the final sparks.
Gonna best push them away very easily from there.
But this is actually really wise on the side of Singapore, on the side of Saigon Jokers. they know they cannot win team fights outright with Singapore Sentinels. So what they're doing is that while they know that Singapore Sentinels is doing Dragon or Baron and things like that, they're pushing the lanes, pushing the turrets, so that the minions will do continuous pushing when they have to defend their base. And this is all this extra time that will actually buy for the side of Saigon Jokers. So it is actually a really great strategy, but how well can they actually push? God only knows. And how well can they actually defend so that the minions can be pushing will be the actually determinant of how well the strategy turns out for the side of Saigon Jokers.
And Singapore Sentinels is going to be forced to fall back very soon. They're just going to take the Dragon before going back to the mid lane. As you can see, the minion waves in the mid lane is fighting it out, and with that super minion, there's no problem at all for Saigon Jokers in terms of pushing it out that far. And this Dragon is going to be taken very quickly by SGS. SAJ is not even going to go to contest. They're going to go stand safely, go back to buy their items, and Lux is moving up to top. I believe she's going to use the ulti to clear the wave once again.
It's just ridiculous at this point in time. Graves is dealing crits of 1,000. 1,000 damage crits are coming out there, which is ridiculous. And just as Ezreal will finish up his Infinity Edge soon, he as well will be dealing tons and tons of extra damage there. So it's a matter of the next 5 minutes or so what sort of team fight it comes up from it, and that will actually be the determinant of it. Now, most games end around 40 minutes for League of Legends, and this is already past 40 minutes, so this is already, I would say, the super late game phase.
I would say.
We see that there are 2 Guardian Angels out for the side of Singapore Sentinels. There's 1 Guardian Angel out on the side of Saigon Jokers. The Zonia has been on Gragas for a while, but we have not seen that Zonia being used all that well. We see 2 Trinity Forces up for the side of Saigon Jokers as well, and most of the Heart of Golds have not been turned into anything much. Just that Locket of the Iron Solari been turned in by EP Vocal on Leona. Don't see any random whims yet. That could actually be a great help, since Irelia could dash in, and that's something that you could use to actually slow her down. So I don't know. Free tower? Nope. Tower does not go down. Rengar is chasing. Jump onto Equivocal, but follow-up not really there. Oh, look at that laser bouncing out of the way. Junie, look at that. That full charge does go off, but hardly any damage being dealt. Wait, what's going on here? QTV's GA being procced. Everything does go happen. Ultimate does go down, but no, nothing. Solar Flare does go off. Everybody is dancing around, but Saigon Jokers just can't pull it together. Everybody's kind of low. The Barrier buff did kind of help them out early, just before the fight, to save them. But look at that, Archie forced to use Flash. The cast does go off, and Tofu is perfectly fine.
Irelia being Irelia, just
Nothing.
yes, nothing's gonna stop her with the 1v1 fight. Most of the time. We can see right now, it's gonna. I believe right now, SGS is definitely gonna take down this turret and inhibitor as well, and they might move it to end the game as SAJ is 3-man down with only Maokai and Lux left. They're not going to be able to do that much in terms of defending. And well, the laser right now is not doing enough. Oh, it just missed.
It missed. Even with the ulti going down, look at the Solar Flare, instant burst. Bye bye. Nothing there whatsoever. Violet going in. Yeah, everybody's just coming like lambs to the slaughter. It is an ace. Tofu bringing it up. There is 23 to 15. Looks like that would be the final score. QTV's coming up, and nope, that would be it. GG, well played on the side of Singapore Sentinels. Yes. Really good job there. Tofu having a little bit of trouble in the beginning, but the GP5s overall helping out the team in total when they transition to the late game. Their composition of having team fights forced Saigon Jokers to so much to the fact that they were so afraid to enter team fights, they would be giving up dragons, giving up barons, instead trying to opt to try to take towers. So it worked out really well for the side of Singapore Sentinels, forcing Saigon Jokers to either be there or to give up everything for free.
Like one thing we mentioned, we went to do some research / interviews on the players, and they mentioned they did mention that Singapore Sentinels really shine during the team fights. Yeah, so I believe this composition, the items bought for the early stages, is really just a force a team fight for them into their favor. As you can see from the kills, for getting the dragons, it's all all in the favor of Singapore Sentinels. And for Saigon Jokers sides, they try to use a more poke composition to try to sustain and win the lane, as well as mobility-wise, but however, it just didn't work out so well this time.
They did win the lane, that's one thing. But the thing is, they did not win the lane enough to carry forth to the mid game to dominate. So it was kind of an even thing where they had maybe just a +1 advantage. And so when they actually came to the mid game, they didn't have all that much to play around with. They didn't capitalize on their advantage that they had there. And that's actually the downfall of Saigon Jokers here in this game. So I think it was a matchup of the strategies. And in this case, Singapore's strategy actually came out on top.
Yes, and so we're going to take a look at this score screen as well, so that you see how overall the team performance in terms of all the overall gold gained. And we can see from right there, Graves as the AD carry with 12 kills, 2 deaths, 4 assists at 20.5k. And that rarely happens. I suppose what is a 46-minute game, so I suppose...
It's a 46-minute game, but the thing is here, we look at the difference compared to everybody else. He's 20k, his support is only at 11k. On the other hand, we look at Archie. Archie's only at 16k, so that's a 4k difference, and that's a lot. 4k is close to one other Trinity Force.
Yes.
That's just how much difference of goal he had. Even if you look at Nick's Water, 11.7 compared to Chowi's 18.7. That extra 7k there, that's equivalent to 2 Rabadon death caps. That's a whole lot of extra money being placed there. So great job to Singapore Sentinels. We will be going onto a short commercial break where we will be seeing a few interesting clips. And we're actually going to be doing something slightly different. Now, we see before this on the Malaysian side, we never said anything throughout the commercials. We kind of watched it on our side and, you guys watched it on your side. But what we're going to be doing now is we're going to be having a short discussion during the commercial breaks. Or rather, a short commenting session about the commercials. So, yeah.